This video will explain hopefully everything you need to know on how to send out cards to us, but also it may even help you understand more about sending out yourself. I do operate this as a hobby and I really enjoy seeing improvements on not only my cards, but on others as well. With that said, please be patient in messaging. Sometimes I only get the messages once every day. It's incredibly difficult to tell a lot about a card through a picture, video, whether it's raw, in a sleeve or top loader, or even a slab case. All these things can have marks on them as well, making it a little difficult to see what's actually going on with the card. Sometimes you can tell if the mark has a shadow under lighting, but you guys get the idea. It's tough. A lot of people ask me, can I send out one card? And the answer is absolutely. It's obviously not the best bang for your buck because of shipping cost. So let's head over to the website. Here, the homepage just shows some of our YouTube videos of content we've made in the past. If you go up here and click the pricing tab, the pricing page is pretty straightforward. If we go up above here though, we can click example invoice. This gives you an idea of the cost. Keep in mind, guys, BGS does have a higher shipping cost than CGC. CGC is like $25. Beckett is like $40, even with one card with their shipping, send back cost, and insurance. There's nothing we can do to change that. And when you insure a card, those amounts can go up roughly $8 per $1,000 of insurance coverage. If you opt in for your order to go out with others, we can cut down on that shipping cost a little bit. This is just an example of one card send out, and here's an example of two cards send out through Beckett with subs, and some stuff's in there like even a slab crack, just to give you an idea of how the invoice is formulated. All right, guys, so next up is the form page. This is extremely important. You want to make sure to absolutely put this in your box when you're sending out. This is how I'm able to identify your order. We're just going to bring it up through the browser here. So if you can see here, the list, you can kind of, mark what cards you have and what services you want performed. Keep in mind, guys, if you mark for back polish and I don't think it needs done, then we won't do it and we won't charge you because it's very situational to see an improvement on back polish. But just as a for example, PayPal email, PayPal only, we will invoice your order before we send out for grade or before we send back your cards raw. Discord, Instagram, please list the account in which we spoke in conversation, ideally. Return address, quick inspection, pretty straightforward there. If cards are going for grade, select the grader and the tier send out you want. Why isn't PSA listed? I get this one a lot. There's so many reasons. I'm not going to say we're never going to send to them. I have PSA slabs. I've continued to buy PSA slabs. It's really nothing personal, but I do and have sent multiple orders back to customers 100% ready to send to PSA. And no, we have never had an issue. So if that's something you want to do, it works for me. Do you want insurance every time your order is shipped? Please select yes or no, and then please list the total value in which you want insured. Next, select if you would like your order to go out with another order to save greater shipping costs. This is what I was talking about earlier. There's obviously a lot of tiers in sending out, and mixed between two companies, there's 5 different options here. I would still say most of the time, if you select this, your order's still going to go out within a 2-week time frame, and you'll save a little bit on shipping. And lastly, you just need to sign and confirm you understand grading is subjective and not everything can be repaired. All right, so back to the pricing page. I will say everyone I have worked with has been absolutely amazing. And while I'm sure there will sometime be that one person, thank you guys for the support and having an open mind on what can be achieved and fixed versus what cannot be. Polishing works extremely well for holographic cards. Guys, deep scratches, you're out of luck. Micro scratches, it can handle a lot of things like that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Polish up great, and so does OnePiece. OnePiece, absolutely, actually amazing. We featured that in a Perono video we did. But just keep in mind, back polish is very situational. If you mark it, we'll look at it. We'll only do it if we think it needs done. And if we don't do it, we will not charge you. Cleaning and inspection. Mainly, guys, this is for older cards. Usually modern and freshly pulled cards, they don't need cleaned and they don't need inspected. All right, guys, so next is slab cracks offered for the big 3, PSA, CGC, and BGS slab cracking. It's always a risky process, but I will say BGS is actually the safest slab to crack. It has that protector sleeve, which is absolutely awesome. Fragments moving around when you're cracking. If you need the service performed, I will always look at the card before we crack. If I don't think it will go higher, I will recommend not cracking it, but I'm also not perfect and grading is subjective. To send the card off for grading, I do charge $5 per card. This handles my entry time, paperwork, and organizing the order. The shipping cost is $20. That is $10 to ship it to the grader and $10 to ship it back to you. Granted, you live within the US. Shipping insurance is an option and runs about $8 per $1,000 coverage. I highly recommend getting shipping insurance. Dent and edge repair, it's $20 an hour. Most repairs fall under an hour work time. Definitely check with us first because dent repairs are not always open, so we are able to hit our turnaround times on cleaning orders. Quick inspection is something we offer mainly for cards already in a slab to see if we can get a possible bump. However, customers also use this service to check for possible black label entries, but keep in mind, guys, grading is subjective, and when this is performed, I am using my experience to predict a possible outcome. Frequently asked questions. This is probably my favorite page. Keep in mind, guys, there is no mad science behind doing this, and everyone is capable of doing these things on their own. We do have a good bit of experience, equipment, and have developed a process for this job. And if you require the service we offer, I am happy to help. First off is know your card, look it over, and have a real expectation on the flaws the card has. How to place an order, just reach out to me on Discord or Instagram. It is insanely difficult to keep up with messages on numerous platforms. We do use YouTube to get all our videos out first. Sometimes YouTube gets them a week before any other platform. TikTok is just different audience outreach. Discord is where I'm running giveaways and answering questions. Discord is our key community, and if you're there, you are family. Our Instagram is the glamour side of things. We try to post up some TCG photos. And Twitter, we just have fun with it, pretty much post whatever. You might even see some of my daily life in there. Ready to Send just explains my lifestyle and the turnaround time you can expect, which is roughly 2 weeks business days. If grading, you will also have the greatest turnaround time. Speaking of which, BGS base orders take forever to come back. Right now, they say 45 plus business days. That plus could mean 60 or 70 days. So if you choose that cheaper option, just know it could take a while. I don't even like the BGS base option and have thought about not doing them, but if it's on the sheet, then we are doing them. I will notify you once the graders let me know the scores, unless you want to be surprised. Some people do. BGS does update their scores rather quickly, but if they update a base order in 25 days, they're still not shipping it till 45 days plus. There's that print form button again, just so you guys can't miss it. And then issues we can fix, lifting edges, especially if they're not separated, micro scratches on hollow cards, card dents sometimes only improved, remove dirt typically seen on older cards. Not all dirt can be removed. Speaking of which, some cards have factory hollow bleed chips, which reveal the hollow underlayer, and also print errors. Sometimes it'll look like dirt, but they cannot be fixed. Also, black print borders seen on some vintage cards, or I call them dirty prints. This now moves us into issues we cannot fix. Whitening edges, guys, there's nothing we can do about that. The surface has been removed. It's gone. Sharpie marker, depending, but 99% of the time, no. We had one e-reader Celebi and we got red marker removed. It was epic. But what kind of marker it was, who knows? The customer wanted me to try and we pulled it off. That was the first time it ever happened though. Deep scratches, card back scratches, crease marks, textured card dents, and edge chips and show bleed. These are all things that we aren't capable of fixing. Here's an example of an order I just received. When it comes in, we use a post-it note and then write I or D, indicating what platform we spoke on with your username next to it. Next, we write RD for receive date and then SD for start date. This is when your order is scheduled to start. Next, we write how many cards are in the order, and to finish it off, we write down which grader you chose and which tier you picked, and we write raw if the cards are not being graded. If you're still interested in sending out, please let me know how many cards are in your order so I can get you scheduled.